Have you ever reflected on a nation that carved mountains into palaces? A people who laughed and said,
"Who on earth is stronger than us?"
But when the command descended from the heavens, those very palaces were buried beneath dust and sand. After Prophet Noah, peace be upon him, another mighty nation rose, living in the vast desert lands of Aqaf, between present-day Yemen and Oman. Their city was called Iram, the city of pillars, a city supported by towering columns, as if its structures were in conversation with the sky itself. Their bodies were built like mountains, their height seemed to touch the clouds, and their arrogance pierced the heavens. They proudly declared, "We are the true heirs of the earth, and we will remain forever." Across the sands of Aqaf, their settlements stretched far and wide. The ground trembled beneath the hooves of their horses, and at night, the glow of their lamps shone far into the distance. It was as though their city wore a crown upon the earth. In their gatherings and councils, one sentence echoed again and again: "People like us will never be created again." Even their children, at a young age, lifted massive stones to display their strength, while the elders watched with pride and said,
"Our children will one day bend mountains."
The people of Aad held another strange belief. They thought the wind itself was their servant. Their young men would stand in the valleys, stretch out their arms and boast,
"Look! The wind follows our bodies!"
The elders would say with pride, "Our forefathers used to command the winds. Who can stop us now?" When they saw storms forming in the distance, they laughed and said, "The wind is on our side. It will strike our enemies, not us." They did not realize that the approaching wind had already become their greatest enemy. The people of Aad were not just tall. Their physical strength far exceeded that of ordinary humans. Even today, footprints found near riverbanks, hidden between mountains, leave people in awe. The doors of their homes were so high that a horse and rider could enter without bowing. Their utensils were carved from stone, so enormous that an entire family's meal could be cooked in a single vessel. Time passed, pride increased, arrogance grew without limit. Then Allah sent to them his prophet, Hud, peace be upon him. He called out, "O my people, worship Allah alone. You have no God besides him." They replied mockingly,
"Do you want us to abandon the religion of our ancestors?
"We are powerful!
No one can harm us!"
Hud, peace be upon him, warned them, "I fear for you a punishment beyond your imagination." But when arrogance fills the heart, advice shatters like words striking stone. Every day Hud, peace be upon him, stood at their markets, their palaces, their gates, offering a final invitation. Some leaders laughed and said,
"If your words had any truth, our palaces would have collapsed by now."
Children mocked his voice, and others avoided him, afraid that the fear of God might enter their eyes. One day, Hud, peace be upon him, entered their grand assembly, where leaders sat upon golden thrones. He said, "Look at the system of power Allah has created. Your strength is nothing." They laughed loudly. "Stop these warnings. If punishment comes, we will stop it with our power." Days before the punishment, something strange occurred in the valley. At night, a deep echo came from the sky. No thunder roared, no lightning flashed, yet it felt as if a distant voice was calling. The people said,
"It's just the sound of the mountains."
Hud, peace be upon him, replied, "This is not a call of mercy, it is a final warning." The next night, the earth trembled slightly. Only the animals sensed it and grew restless. The people laughed again. "Even the earth fears our strength." They did not know this was the earth's final protest. Then came the decree of Allah. First, a severe drought struck them. For 3 years, not a single drop of rain fell. Rivers dried up, gardens burned, the land turned to stone. They stared at the sky each day asking, "When will the rain come?" But the heavens answered only with silence. In the first year, they said, "This is nothing." In the second year, thirst dried their tongues. By the third year, the laughter, pride, and booming voices that once challenged the sky vanished from the land of Aad. When they finally came to Hud, peace be upon him, he did not weep. He only said, "The time of punishment is near." Then one day 3 clouds appeared in the sky, one red, one white, and one black. A voice called out, "O people of Aad, choose one of the clouds." Their leaders laughed and said, "The black cloud, it holds water, it is mercy." They did not know that it carried not mercy but destruction. The sky darkened, the wind turned icy cold. People began to dance and shout, "The rain has come!" But it was not rain, it was the storm of punishment. The first blast came. Dust and stones filled the air. With every gust, it felt as if the wind was erasing their names. The second blast came. Trees were uprooted. Animals were lifted into the air. Idols shattered. Gardens destroyed. And the city itself was torn apart. At night, parents clutched their children, but the storm roared louder than their screams. Then came the third blast. Humans were flung into the sky. The palaces that once stood on pillars, reaching toward the heavens, were crushed beneath the sand. For 7 nights and 8 days, the storm raged without pause. The sky thundered, the earth shook. When the wind finally stopped, only silence remained. A sea of sand and bodies like hollow palm trunks. But those who believed with Hud, peace be upon him, were saved by Allah and sheltered in the mountains. Hud, peace be upon him, prayed, "O my Lord, you are the most merciful. Keep us firm upon the path that leads to you." Standing above the ruined valley, looking at the destroyed city, tears filled his eyes. These were the people who once said, "Who is stronger than us?" Today, even their living traces have been scattered by the wind. Beneath the sands of Akaf, the city of Iram still lies buried, a silent witness. A witness that declares, "Honor does not come from strength, nor from power or pride. It comes only through obedience to Allah." This is not just a story, it is a reminder that when humans fall into arrogance, oppression, and injustice, they erase themselves. If this message touched your heart, support its spread by liking this video and sharing it with others. Subscribe to the Guidance Beyond Life channel to continue exploring Quranic histories and reminders that guide the soul. May Allah protect us from arrogance and keep us firm upon obedience to Him. Ameen.